I get asked all the time, Oscar, what is the most underrated watch brand? Well, I answered it recently on one of the world's biggest podcasts, and I'm so proud to be flying to Geneva today to find out how these beautiful things are made. But the question you all want the answer to is...
What would you say is the most underrated watch brand?
At the moment, I would say Ulysse Nardin. We are back in Geneva. It's become our second home, and it's like we never left. We have been invited for our first ever factory tour. Ulysse Nardin have been hitting home runs lately with the Freak, the Diver Air and more. It's so crazy to think how far we've come in such a relatively little time. Every single like, comment and share from all of you has brought me here, and I'll never forget that. When watches are what get us out of bed in the morning and what we research deep into the night, for a brand as big and as brilliant as Ulysse Nardin to invite us to go behind the scenes is absolutely wild. So from the bottom of my mechanical heart, thank you.
Welcome at Ulysse Nardin. So we like to say that we are the tech startup of the watchmaking, except that this startup has been innovating for 180 years. Ulysse Nardin is about thinking differently, is about pushing beyond what's possible, and since 1846, we are combining pioneering technologies with unmatched craftsmanship. So here I will show you some impressive timepieces we have. This one is the oldest one we have, from 1860. So what stands out immediately is the enamel dial. It's in perfect condition, and it's the original one.
This watch's flawless condition is proof of the craftsmanship and materials that defined mid-19th century watchmaking. And beyond its beauty, it carried a mechanical advance few others could match.
This piece is also really important. It shows Ulysse Nardin's technical creativity because it has two barrels with an 8 days power reserve.
Wow. A week of independence in a single winding, an early example of innovation that set the tone for everything that followed. By the late 19th century, the company's focus turned to the sea.
We were leader in marine chronometry for over 100 years, supplying more than 50 navies with the most accurate timekeeping instruments.
Built with features like dead seconds hands and power reserve indicators, they became the indispensable navigation tool of their era. Just to be clear, this maritime chronometer is running at +2, -2 seconds. That is exactly the same as a modern Rolex, but it's from 1876. It's just incredible. In the 1980s, Ulysse Nardin turned its attention from the oceans to the stars. The Astrolabium Galileo Galilei was unlike anything seen before, a wristwatch that displayed the heavens on its dial. It entered the Guinness Book of Records as the most complicated wristwatch in the world. Together with the Planetarium Copernicus and the Tellurium Johannes Kepler, it formed the celebrated Trilogy of Time. At the dawn of the 21st century, Ulysse Nardin once again disrupted watchmaking with the freak.
He wanted to shake up the industry and introduce something really revolutionary with the movement itself telling the time. It was like amazing back in the days.
From its first release in 2001, the collection has remained a laboratory of invention. 2 decades on, the freak still embodies exactly what its name suggests, a radical departure from tradition and a symbol of modern creativity. From centuries of innovation to today, Ulysse Nardin carries the spirit forward with the new free-wheel Malacourt.
It's a tribute to mystery watches from the 19th centuries. You have some part of the mechanism that are visible and some are hidden. So you really don't understand how it works.
Guys, I am absolutely infatuated by this. It has a flying tourbillon, power reserve indicator, these 3 wheels. When you wind this watch, it is just true horological art. I would wear this, and I would wear this well. Not every dial begins with gears. Not every story starts with springs. Here it begins with fire and with glass. Ground to dust, mixed with colour, transformed into brilliance. This is the art of enamelling. The powder is dusted on like sugar, then fired at 800 degrees. Each layer melts into glassy perfection, and each firing risks disaster. One crack and the work begins again. Some artisans practice grand few, firing again and again to build depth and brilliance. Others use cloisonné, bending fine gold wires into tiny partitions like stained glass on the wrist. There is also champlive, where enamel fills pockets carved directly into the metal, and flink, where translucent enamel floats above engraved patterns, making the dial shimmer with light. The result is a dial that never fades, never scratches, its time captured in fire and glass. We are here, guys, at the Grand Complication Atelier, and we are looking just the part. Behind every innovation is the place where it is made. Here in Ulysse Nardin's high complication workshop, the most demanding pieces take shape.
So here there are 14 expert watchmakers. So here they're working on astronomical display, chiming complication, on the fricasse as well. They do 2 to 4 watches at the time.
Here, every piece is treated like a masterpiece with more than 400 components. Each watch takes up to 2 months to complete.
What is interesting for chiming mechanism is there is no machine to test the sound. So they are gathering 4 expert watchmakers with the trained ear to make sure that the sound is clear enough and it's the right volume.
Seeing these wonderful creations all come together in a Swiss factory, it makes you really appreciate how special it all is. This is it, we are inside my first ever visit to a Swiss manufacturer. Everything in this building is covered from design to assembly. Every watch begins here. Before a single part is cut, designers imagine the movement in its entirety.
For a movement that has about 250 components. You can count about 1,000 drawings. And they have the 3D computer to simulate the tension, so you can see where are the weaknesses.
Durability is non-negotiable. Every part must survive shocks, drops, and years of use on the wrist.
So it's equivalent to a drop of a height of 1.2 meter onto a wood surface. And they do 2 tests with rotation and then also straightforward.
This massive machine, all the way down here, is making one tiny component of a movement, so microscopic. Here, gears are cut, balance wheels shaped, and screws are made with tolerances finer than a human hair. At the heart of every movement lies the main plate, the foundation on which everything else is built. Look at the size of this machine. It's used to clean the main plate. The main plate is like the structure, the chassis of a car. There's actually one inside here, and you can see that this robotic arm actually feeds them through the machine. It's incredible.
We do almost, all the bridges, the main plate will be done here. You will have the milling, the drilling, and then the fine drilling will be done on other machines.
Each hole, each slot must be drilled with absolute accuracy. Even a few microns off and the watch would never tick. The pivots and wheels rest in jewels, tiny synthetic rubies that reduce friction and extend life. Their placement is critical.
This is where he plays a lot with the tolerances. If you would have one jewel that would get loose, then the watch will stop. So it's very important.
Mechanics are only half the story. A Swiss watch is a work of art. Polishing gives each component its final character, removing flaws, sharpening lines, and catching the light. Even hidden parts are finished, because in watchmaking, beauty is crafted as carefully as precision. This is the assembly room. They are actually put together right here at these desks. There's these amazing movements running through the desk here. This gentleman or lady has a lot of work to do tomorrow. There's a lot of movements there, and you can see them all moving through here. It's like yo sushi of watch movements. Finally, after years of design, machining and finishing, the parts are assembled. Each screw, wheel and spring comes together into a living, beating mechanism.
There's your watch in the pre-assembly,
Okay,
so
yeah.
it's really the beginning. This is the main plate.
Look, you see? As if a trip to Jura wasn't enough, Ulysse Nardin have let me kindly get my hands on their latest and greatest creation. It's the Diver Air, weighing in at only 52 grams. And let me get this straight out the way now, I am in love with it. To put the weight into perspective for you guys at home, this weighs about as much as a medium-sized egg or a kiwi. It literally feels like nothing, and you've got to bear in mind that it's a fully functioning 200-meter water resistance, capable of anything dive watch. It's also a masterclass in ingenuity and responsible manufacture, as so much of it is made using recycled materials. The case is a product of Ulysse Nardin working with several cutting-edge companies to create something really special. It's a mix of titanium, carbon fibre and a composite called Nylo-foil, which is a super lightweight carbon composite, which is 60% recycled polymer from fishing nets and 40% recycled carbon fibre from sailing boats. The level of detail and eco-awareness from Ulysse Nardin is absolutely crazy, and it doesn't stop there. Why would it? The elasticated strap is manufactured in its entirety from recycled fishing nets. and it's quite possibly one of the most comfortable straps I've ever worn. The movement is the real gem of engineering here. It has been skeletonized to the extent that 80% of the internal case is air, and it weighs a mind-bending 5 grams. And it's no surprise that this skinny little unit provides a bonkers 90 hours of power reserve. I'm gonna try and put into a few words exactly how it's made me feel since I've been wearing it. The size is absolutely perfect. It feels like you are wearing something extremely special, but at the same time, nothing at all. The way that it makes me feel when I look at it is like this is advanced horology. This thing has been made to perfection. I'm going to say that again. This thing has been made to perfection. I've been wearing it for around 3 weeks now. It is tough, it is durable, but it is so obscenely light that it kind of doesn't make sense. How have they done this? And even though I've been in the manufacturer today and actually seen how they've done it, it still doesn't make sense on the wrist. And that is truly special. I believe that the quality of this piece is 10 out of 10. I'm in love with it, but I would love for you guys to let me know what you think in the comments. In summary, this for me has been a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I hope that this is the start of many more.